Are you ready for your cruise? Well, I have 30 items that's going to help you pack effectively, stay organized, and overall have a better cruise. Let's go!
Hi guys, I'm Angela from Grumpy Bags Travel. So the items I'm going to share with you today are mostly what I use on every cruise that I go on, and I'm going to also suggest some things that a lot of my family and friends use on their cruises as well. So on every single trip that we go on, our family packs a backpack. They are great to pack your extra stuff that you need to have packed with you, but it's also great for excursions. I recently bought this one for our Alaska trip last year, which was really worked out very well for us. We love the additional compartments that it has to hold your items, the side pockets. It was water resistant, and my husband, who is the backpack holder, loved the adjustable straps that it came with. This is pretty versatile. It's very nice. Now, of course, if your excursion entails a beach excursion, you may want to consider bringing a beach bag, which that too can be versatile and used for backpacking purposes before you board the ship. Now, if you haven't tried packing cubes yet, I highly suggest you give it a try. These are wonderful to not only roll your clothes and pack in as much as you can. It keeps it organized. This set that I bought also has the TSA approved size bags, which are great for all your carry-on essentials, and I use it to hold my towel clips, which I'll talk about later in a minute. I also like they have a shoe compartment to keep your shoes so you don't dirty all your rest of your clothes from your shoes. I also bought these compressed packing cubes, which I haven't had the chance to try them out yet, but they are supposed to pack in your clothes even further, which I kind of like the idea to give more room in the bags for souvenirs. Always want room for souvenirs. Another way I like to use packing cubes is by using it actually as a laundry basket. So as we roll up our clothes at the end of the day that we're not going to be using anymore, I put them in the packing cubes and stuff them in, nice rolled up, stuffed in, and then I can find that by the end of the cruise, instead of having to take that extra time away from my sea day to enjoy my last day at sea, I can very quickly and easily just pack my bags up with the packing cubes because it's pretty much already done for me. And you just have those last minute items that either you haven't packed up yet or that you just don't want to have in a packing cube. It's a lot easier and faster, and it's great especially for your delicates. You just put them in the smaller compartments and then put them right in. Now, if you're going to check luggage, you're going to find in your e-documents that you'll see luggage tags in there that you can print out for those checked bags. Now, a great item you should have is these plastic luggage tag holders. They have multiple uses for them. First, I like that you don't have to then tape and staple the paper luggage tag to your luggage, which can rip, it can get all water damage. It also is reusable, so you can reuse it over and over. Now, just word of note, if you're flying into your port, first I do suggest you flying in the day before, always do. Don't put this on before you get on the plane. Put this on right before you're going to go to the cruise port. That way it doesn't get lost in the airport baggage handling. Now, just a little tip on what I do. When I fly into a cruise port, I always try to bring a carry-on bag with me that will have pajamas and clothes that I will be using that night and embarkation day. This allows you to not have to sift through the large luggage and mess your packing. I also use my backpack to give me the essentials that I would need because your luggage can be delivered to the stateroom several hours later. So having a bag that has maybe a bathing suit, sunblock, your medication, and documents will help you get through the day until your luggage arrives. Your sea pass or your cruise card is your lifeline on a cruise. It is to use to identify you when you go on off the ship. It's how you can make onboard purchases. It's your room key, and some cruise lines use it to allow you in the theater. There are various ways you can carry your card. You can use a lanyard like this one or these pockets for your cell phones. Now, if you're sailing with Princess Cruises, they send these medallions to you. These medallions take in the place of a cruise card and they do everything for you. When they mail this to you, they send you a lanyard that you can use and hook it on. Now these medallions are the same size as an Apple AirTag. So instead of using a lanyard, my family decided to buy these wristbands, which were made for AirTags, and we were just able to easily slide it in and then wear it as your wristband. Very easy. Your stateroom will be your home while you're on your cruise. So these are some items that you can do to make it more comfortable and organized and homey. All cabin walls and doors are magnetic. So people like using magnetic hooks and or clips that can be placed on your walls and then be used to hang hats, jackets, bags, bathing suits. Another item a lot of people like to use is a shoe organizer to put on the door of your bathroom. Personally, I like to use these hanging toiletry bags. I actually have two, one for myself and husband and one for my kids, which we can hang either from a hook or a door, or we could just place it very easily on the counter and it keeps everything neat and organized. One thing you always want to be prepared for is how to charge your devices. You know, gone are the days when we are going to be unplugged, and here is the time where there's so many devices we actually bring with me. My family alone, we can have our phones, our AirPods, our GoPro, our Fitbit, and my husband brings a CPAP machine. And depending on your ship will really dictate how much outlets you have. The newer ships will have the USB outlets or even the newer USB-C outlets. On the older ships, you're going to find a limited amount of outlets, especially near the bed. Now, every ship does have European adapters. So I like to use these European adapters to get your extra devices plugged. It has the USB ports, it has the extra ones. Now, all the items I have shown you is linked in the description below so you could check it out for yourself. Now, one thing about cabins, especially if you're in an interior cabin, is that it can get quite dark. There are several things you can do. Sometimes I just leave the bathroom door open a little bit so that way we can see where the bathroom is. My kids will know that they need to step up to get into the bathroom. You can also go to the dollar store and buy those battery operated night lights, or I like to use these little battery operated tea lights. Now, if you'd like to help to make your cabin smell nice or to help stop certain odors, I like to bring my Poopery or even my fave Febreze. It really helps make the cabin smell nice and homey. Two of the items you are prohibited from bringing on board are steamers and irons. So when you get that case of you need to iron your clothes, you could do two things. You can go get it laundered by the cruise ship, which can cost you some money depending on the cruise line, and it can take you about a day to get your iron stuff back, again depending on your cruise line. Or you can use this Downy Wrinkles release spray. You simply just spray your garment, stretch it out, and I like to hang it up in the steam shower to get all the wrinkles out. It's not always a perfect job. I've been hit or miss, quite honestly, on how it works, but it's not too bad for what it is. For spills, you can have them also laundered. Some ships do have self-service laundry, but many don't. And if you're going to do so, bring some dryer sheets with you to save money on the cost. To also save money, you can use Tide to Go, Shout, or I like to use this bar of soap called Phil's Napa. Try it, even for your home stains. It's amazing. I love this. When you're walking around the ship, you really don't need to have much with you, but I do like to carry my beach bag if we're planning to go by the pool, or just maybe my crossbody bag for the daytime and a small purse for night, just to hold your little items. This crossbody bag by Lululemon is also great for excursions. I also just bought these waterproof belts to hold our stuff at the beach. I'll create a short video to let you know how they worked out. Now, speaking of pools, cruise ships will provide you with towels to use for their pools and even on their excursion. Just make sure you bring them back with you, or else you will get charged for losing those items and not returning them. When you are laying out, it can get quite windy, and I have had those experiences where a gust of wind would come and blow me and my stuff off the deck, practically. So I like to use these towel clips. To hold my towel down on the lounge chairs. They work really nice and they don't take that much space. Now, if you're like me at all, you're going to get cold on the ship. There's a lot of spaces, both daytime and night, where the ship can get quite chilly. So I like to bring either a sweater or a small jacket or even a pashmina. I bought this one actually on a Royal Caribbean sailing when they had their sidewalk sales, and it has been quite useful in my sailing since. Did you know that most cruise ships have libraries, especially on the older ships? And not only can you take out books, but you can also take out board games to take out and play. Our family likes to bring a deck of cards or a small travel game, just in case the weather doesn't cooperate and you're looking for something to do indoors on a sea day. Battery packs are a really great item to have when you're going around the ship or on an excursion and your battery's running low. So I like to bring this round one. There's so many to choose from, but it is a great item to have with you just in case you need to plug in. Now, packing different size Ziploc bags is great for many things. To avoid lotions or liquids to spill in your bags, put wet items in there till you get in your cabin, or just better organization. So here's some quick items that you shouldn't forget. Of course, your sunblock and lip balm for those days in the sun you don't want to start burning. If you do get sunburns or those dreaded streaks of burns, don't forget your aloe. They will be your lifesaver. Hats, sunglasses, hair ties, first aid kits like Band-Aids and Neosporin, all great things to have with you. I also like to bring my vitamins and supplements, and I like to pack them in pill cases so it's easy for me to bring them to breakfast. If you're on prescription medication, always bring extra with you, and don't forget to bring the prescription with you just in case you should need it for any type of delays that may be unexpected. I always bring Tylenol, Motrin, Benadryl for me and the kids. And then, of course, for the kids, I bring their Flonase. And yes, I do bring a thermometer with me. It sounds a little crazy and an extreme. I have used it once or twice on occasion. And even though I definitely get travel insurance with every trip to cover needs like that, but I also like to avoid a trip to the medical office on board. Plus, these items are either not to be found on board or are very expensive. Quick story, I did not bring my Flonase for my kids on our last trip to Alaska, of all places. And my daughter started feeling stuffy and needed to get some Flonase to relieve it. I forgot to pack it. So fortunately, I was like, we're going to go to Juneau the next day. I'll just pick it up in Juneau. Juneau did have it. But in Juneau, Flonase is $30. Sticker shock. But I learned better now. Make sure you pack your Flonase. So these small packs of ponchos are great to have to stick in your backpack in case you need it for excursions, or even a rain jacket if you're going to a destination like Alaska or London and it calls for something a little more sturdy. So I never travel without a hand sanitizer, but you will find multiple locations on the ship for you to sanitize your hands, especially when you go into the food venues. I have gotten seasick quite a few times. I get motion sickness quite a bit. So I like to also try to find natural remedies to relieve the seasickness. Now, one of those items is actually green apples. And a cabin steward told me about this remedy, and it worked like a charm. We were on the Anthem of the Seas coming back from a Bahamas cruise, and in the Atlantic Ocean in the winter can be quite choppy. And my son and I, we were affected by it. So we took the green apples like the cabin steward suggested, and I have to say, it worked like a wonder. It was really good and relieved our nausea. You can also try ginger chews, because ginger is a natural supplement to help with nausea. I also like to drink ginger ale throughout the day to help. And I use, you can also use Dramamine. You're going to see people with patches on, Bonine. I like to use C-bands. They're acupuncture points that you put on your wrist to relieve any type of seasickness, imbalance in motion. And it works really well. So I hope you're still with me. I just have a few more items, and then if you go type in cruise life in the comments so that I know that you're here, and hit the subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, I've told you a couple of items that I like to bring with us on our excursions, and those things can vary depending on where you're gonna go. So here's a few more that I like to bring with us. Gatorade packets. especially in the hot Caribbean. It can get blistering hot, and to keep yourself from getting dehydrated, now you aren't allowed to bring anything off the ship that is vegetable, fruit, or meat, but you may want to snack during your excursion, whether it's at the beach or you're taking a long tour. So I like to pack some portable little snacks that are packaged, pre-packaged. You can bring those with you, and they're small and it won't take up too much space in your luggage. And also, depending on your excursion, you may want to take a small bottle of bug spray with you. And if your excursions will be to the beach, consider bringing water shoes for those rocky beaches, snorkel masks, and tubes for the kids. This is something I have done on most of our beach excursions. It is cheaper than renting, and it's easy to use. Just remember that you can't use it on the ship, so it's only for the excursion. And I also like to bring this baby powder to get the excess sand off your feet. Now, if you have some packing essentials that you like to use, please comment below to let us know. I appreciate you watching. Happy cruising!